you have to include the guys who play cricket here, the guys who play in Washington League, who play in Florida, right? Who come and play in New York, who gets on the Greyhound bus in the night and go to Washington and play the next morning, gets back and go to Virginia and play Sunday morning, right? Half of these players never went to a club cricket ground.
So, welcome to Cricket Talk. This is episode 7. You know, we have co host Dunay Nathaniel,
Yes,
BIGNATE
sir.
Cricket. And
Mhm.
again, we have a guest, special guest today, MSDA. He's in the building. I know a lot of the local cricketers in Central Florida, the entire Florida, right, Dunay? Yeah,
Entire Florida, the entire country.
yeah, they pretty much know of MSDA. He has been doing a lot in the cricketing scene, but Dunay knows much more than I do, so I will let him give some more introduction on who MSDA is, and we'll take it from there. Over to
Yes,
you,
yes.
Mr.
Good evening,
Bignay.
fans. Good evening, fans. Thank you, CG. A pleasure to be here once again. MSDA, I've known him for a long time. We go way back. Me and his son actually played for the USA under 19 team in 2006. So we have been friends ever since then. But I've come to know this man to be the club cricket legend and has been playing cricket here in the United States. Not only playing, but recording and supporting it for over the years. So it's a pleasure to have him on board tonight. How are you doing today, MSDA?
Fine, thank you, Tune, and the other host, Genius. Just really excited to be on the show, a local show. I think you guys doing a great job so far. So let's see how it goes.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
definitely. Welcome, welcome, and thanks for being here. So MSDA, I'm pretty new to you, so I can just give you a little brief background of who am I. I'm originally from Jamaica. I migrated here in 2016. I play mostly high school cricket. I grew up with my parents, so I never really get to go to all the trials and those things. I'm like a house boy, but I always have the talent. It was natural, so once I came back up here in Orlando, Central Florida, I had to start back doing something, either cricket or football. I saw cricket first, so I started with that and been playing like the local cricket here, and that's how I meet Dunay, and we have been good friends since. But as I said, he's always been mentioning MSDA, and it's nice to meet you. It's a pleasure, and I will definitely be keeping in touch to check out more of the gears. But tell us, if you can tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did cricket start for you? Where you're originally from? Because I know most of us migrate over here. So let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my cricket career really started in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm from a village called Chumuka Village. So I started to play school cricket like 1982, 83. Um, and our school, Chumuka Secondary School, they call it TOS, at Chumuka Ontario Secondary School, won the secondary school competition back in 1983. And that's really where it started for me as a young cricketer. My teammate went on to play for the West Indies, Ian Allen, a former West Indies fast bowler. You're
Yes.
supposed to know him, Hamish. He played with
Yeah.
Hamish Anthony around that time.
Hamish Anthony.
Yeah, 1991, he toured England and West Indies, so that was my good mate. But I played for a club called Victors in St. Vincent in the first division and second division. And I represented St. Vincent youth team in 1985 to 1988. So
Wow.
I played for basically 4 years under 19 cricket before I migrated to Canada in 1988. I still had 2 more years to go. And the reason why I migrated to Canada, my son was being born. So, as a man, you don't really want to depend on your parents or friends for anything. So I just pick up and left. But looking back at it now, I didn't really know, to be honest, how good I was back then, to be honest with you. It was just natural determination. I was never a talented cricketer, but I always work hard. I always
Hard
practice.
work.
You know. So that's why I had a teacher, a peace school teacher from England named Mukesh Parekh. used to teach us football, right, and teach maths and science. And I wasn't good in maths during those days. And he told me, he said, Mark, if you practice every evening, you become good at it. Right? And he said, just in life, if you practice soccer, cricket, anything, all the time, you become good at it. And that's exactly what it did. So I used to get our classes after school with him, one-on-one. And I became the best student in the class doing maths until he used to even come and ask me to help the other kids. So I use that, the same thing to propel my cricket career, really. So ever since, there never a period of time you never see me practice. Thank God I haven't really had any bad injuries or anything like that. But I always work out my game because I think as a cricketer, if you want to be successful, you have to be always prepared. You can't be always making excuses because you fail or things doesn't go your way, or you understand? It's
Yes,
just life.
sir.
So I just believe in always keep practicing and practicing until you master your craft, basically. So that was my cricket career in the early 80s. Just to throw in 1986, when I played Windward Islands Youth Cricket, I think I probably still have the trophy. I made the most runs in the tournament.
Nice.
For Windward Islands Youth Cricket. Those days he had Junior Murray, who went on to play for West Indies.
Yes, yes.
A guy named Darwin Telemack, who went on to open for Windward Islands. He lived in Antigua. He's actually the port manager for Antigua. Darwin
Nice.
Telemack from Dominica. So Jacob Emmanuel, there's a guy named Jacob Emmanuel. He had Pius around here as well. So that's a little background. But I made the Windward Islands youth team, the 17, but I got injured. I was batting on the concrete, and a ball hit me on my knee and put me out of cricket for almost a whole year. So, that was a bit disappointing for me. That's my only major injury I had. So you never know what could have happened because I was very determined. You ask anybody, you go to St. Vincent and ask anybody who everybody call me probably home because I'm a father, right? They will tell you. I'm a cricket crazy guy, so just like now, I'm an old man now, right? But still, guess what happened? You can't knock me over because twice a week, I still go to the nets and practice for 2 or 3 hours, right? So when I come up against the opposition, I'm always prepared. I'm always getting sledged. They're all telling me about my camera recording. You name it. And guess what it does? The minute you start
Motivate
doing that,
you.
it motivates me. You're not going to get
Yes,
me out,
sir.
right? So that's just a little background.
Nice,
That's
nice.
good. That's good. Nice to hear. You said that you told us when you went to Canada, but when did you move to the United States?
Yeah, I lived in Canada for 2 years. Then I moved to the USA, New York, and the date of the first Gulf War when USA invaded Iraq, August
Oh,
August 1991. I moved here, and I was living in Brooklyn with my mom. Then I moved to Queens and stayed with my brother. But what happened? I didn't play cricket for 3 years in Canada, so I struggled a bit. The first 3 or 4 seasons, I really struggled. I never used to really practice. I used to work a lot of 12-hour shift, long hours. But I used to contribute because back in those days in cricket in the Brooklyn League, it was very competitive. You have majority of Barbadian players who play for Barbados, a lot of Antiguan players who play for Antigua and Leeward Islands. Let me tell you, it was fierce. So I struggled for the first 3 or 4 years. Then in 1996, we played a match against a team from Barbados called Cambridge. The score name is Bullets, as I used to be with Cavaliers back in those days. And Bullet was my cousin, he's a cousin of mine too. And he tell everybody, he said, listen, you guys batted Mark too low. Mark is a good batsman, he played for St. Vincent, you guys know that. And he's telling him 6 and 7. And you are giving the ball to bowl. You guys got to give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Yes. And they let me open that match versus Cambridge and I made 96. And from that, I never looked back.
Wow.
From that 196. And there was a gentleman from Antigua named Tommy. Tommy.
Mhm.
Thomas is the last name, but Tommy. He was a captain, and he really showed some faith in me. My brother-in-law was a captain for some period of time, but when Tommy took over Cavaliers, he really instilled a lot of confidence in me. Would give me the new ball to bowl, send me up. I used to open. From that, I never really trained from opening. So I've been opening since 1996. Only
Wow.
this year now, I had, fast forward, I had Middlesex Cricket Club from
Mhm.
2009 to 2023. I owned the club. That was one of my, passion and my
Yes.
something I really wanted to do too. And last year the club folded. Not really folded. I just turned it over to somebody because it was too much. The honest truth is too much of financial responsibility and just one man to take care of everything.
Yes.
So I just gave it to a Pakistani youngster who still playing the Brooklyn League to take over. But I got to say, that guy Tommy was one of the instrumental person who really gave me a chance. And from that time, I started to really believe in myself. And there was another guy who played for St. Vincent named Richard Todd,
Mhm.
all rounder, and he
Mhm.
always tell me, Mark, you don't accept the talent you have. You just have to believe in yourself. And from
Believe.
those two gentlemen, I was going to believe in myself. I just had that confidence from ever. When I fail, like I tell people, I can make 3, 4 ducks. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm ready for the next match. I'm still believe I'm going to do good.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That's amazing, man. So you've been playing cricket in the USA for over 30 years, Mark. You're a
Yes.
legend.
Yes, I played from 1992, my full season, but because when I came, it was end of August, the Gulf War, right?
Mhm.
It was almost the end. So I started really in 1992. I played for a team named Suburbia. They still play in the Metropolitan League, but they used to play in the American League. There was a Bajan guy, Morrison. One time he came to the store and somebody told him, that guy from St. Vincent come to cricket? So every day he would come in and say, Mark, could you come and practice with us? And one Friday I decided to go and practice. And I bowl and I bat. And from that, you'd always come and pick me up. You want to make sure I come and play. And that's really how it started. He saw something in me, and I did well for them. I only played like 6 or 7 matches that season. I remember in 1993, I got a top score, 66, and got a 4 for something, a 4 for. I remember exactly that against one of the Barbadian teams. So the thing with cricket, as I consider myself a genuine all-rounder, right? I always want to be
Lovely.
in the game. So if I fail with the bat, I want to do something with the ball. And if I fail in both areas, I want to
Something
take
in
a
the
catch.
field.
I want to do something. I always want to do the game. And it's not imposing on anybody else. It's just pride. Like I say, I look at it when you play cricket, you're representing your family, most of all, because every time you go out, it's Nathaniel or Odin or whatever your last
Again,
name is.
a
You're
good let.
representing your
Mhm.
family, right?
Yeah.
And so I always want to do proud for my family. But I'm a kind of a hungry cricketer. The way I look at it, uh, I'm confident, and I'm always saying, every time, every Monday morning, my name should be in the sports news. Say what you want about me. You should hear Mark Odin, Ofa, Tutti, whatever. Always. So what happened as a youngster, since in the 80s, I used to always write down my scores, right? From 1983, I remember doing that. Then I joined a guy named Michael Providence, my next door neighbor. We used to play, we call it test cricket, in the backyard. I mean, and we'd fight, actually fight, go back and play together. So we play with anything, lime, guava, anything wrong, Google, would battle against each other all day. He became a softball legend, a tennis ball cricket legend. He did play some hardball in the USA for
Mhm.
Imperial in Brooklyn, but when it's the best at softball, he was a man. So from that time, I really had a competitive spirit. You know, One of my cousins, I taught current cricket, the current West Indies physiotherapist for the team now, Venus
Mhm.
Bayern. That's my first cousin. We grew up in the same house in the village of Jamaica
Nice.
as well. And he was reminding me the other day when he came to New York, he said, Mark, you was really rough, You're the one who taught me cricket, but you used to bowl so much of bouncers and beamers and just going at me all the time. That's how I became good. So I acknowledge that from him. But just to go back a little bit, I come from a cricketing family. My father used to be manager of St. Vincent and the Grenadines team in the 70s, early 70s, 70, 71, around that. He always
Hmm.
involved with cricket. I had a first cousin who played for Combined Islands. When they dropped him, Viv Richards played. His name was Carville Brown.
Nice.
Yes,
Great service.
he made 62 against Ghana and got dropped, and so Viv came in and played. He never got a chance again. So he came to America and played cricket in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Um, I had an uncle named Bumpy Providence in the 70s, was a very good cricketer. He died a bit early, passed away early in the mid 80s, but he was a very good cricketer. So I have cricket running my bloodline. So
Yes.
that's it's all in the veins and stuff. But I've been always
All
a
in the
student.
blood.
Yeah, I've been always a student of the game. And one of my greatest moments was when I was able to play cricket with my own son Dominic. Your
Dominique, I
teammate.
remember, my boy.
Yes, your teammate. And he obviously he got the cricket from me. So
Nice, nice.
Yeah, that's a very good background story. Definitely a lot there. But overall, your cricket experience and growing up, did you have any inspiration or any cricketer who inspired you?
I wouldn't say any particular cricketer inspired me. I just loved the game. And at those days, West Indies cricket was so much at a high peak. Normally, in the village I'm from, we had the only shortwave radio, one of those clock, those old time clock radio, those big
Uh-huh.
clocks, and it had a radio. You know how they used to build them back in the day in the 80s?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Yes. So what happened? My father was friendly with a lot of people in the village. My uncle, Arthur Byam, that's Dennis Byam uncle. I call him uncle, but it's my auntie husband. So he
Mm.
had that radio. So people in the village used to come to our house
To
um,
listen.
to listen, like at 12 in the night when West Indies played in Australia 1980. I remember vividly 1980 when West Indies was on the tour when we won our first test match down in Australia. So people used to come to our house, so we used to listen to cricket. So that's how really I got into the cricket, really. And I always, back in the day, we call him Vivi Richards. People that say Vivian Richards now. But as a youngster, all you'd hear is Vivi Richards, Vivi Richards. So you want to be like Vivi Richards. You never saw him really because you just listen to the transistor radio or the radio. But
Hmm.
Viv Richards was one of the guys, one of the early players that really inspired me, to be honest with you. And Andy Roberts as well from Antigua as a fast
Dangerous.
bowler. Because
Yes.
after school, during breaks, we go out and play. Everybody take a name. When I'm batting, I want to be like Viv Richards. And when I'm bowling, I want to be like Andy Roberts. So that's how it really started. But one of the, I saw a cricket match, 1980 in St. Vincent, West Indies versus England, and West Indies won by 1 run at Annisfield playing field. And Colin Croft put on a spell, 9 overs, 1 maiden, 6 for 15. I remember vividly. And from that, I say, I want to be just like that guy. And, Croft used to swing the ball. And most people don't know that. But for all the West Indies fans bowler, Croft was the one who had more variations, like bowling wide of the crease, close to the stump, bouncer, always at the batsman, aggressive.
Yeah.
Then Malcolm Marshall came and really overtook him, became number one. But Kraft was the one who had all those variations, and I saw that. And I said to myself, I want to be just like this guy. And from watching Kraft bowl at St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I developed my own style of swinging the ball. I've been always a swing bowler, you know, and I pride myself, to be honest, as a good bowler. I was always try things, cross seam, wide of the crease, close to the stump. All these are the things. Most
Definitely.
people don't
That's how you
realize.
get better.
Yes, most people don't realize that, right? But if you look at videos and see more, you'll see all these things. So he was the one I got inspiration from, Colin Croft. But one of my favorite fast bowler of all time was always Winston Davis from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Almost every match played in St. Vincent, first class match in the early 80s, I used to be there watching. And I saw this man bowl some spell. But back in those days, you never really had speed gun, right? But when it's a quick and
Quick.
fast, let me tell you, You know, so he was always one of my main inspiration as a cricketer, and not because he's from St. Vincent. You know, his attitude towards the game, you know,
Mhm.
seriousness, never, never joke around, always meant business. But when he had the ball in hand, he running under this job. You know, so that's why I
Right.
respect most of these earlier cricketers. Not to take anything away from the current cricketers, but imagine a fast bowler bowling 90 miles per hour, bowling 20 overs a day or 25 overs a day. You could never
Yeah,
get that. You know?
yeah. That's how it was back in the day. Nowadays,
Yes.
they can't do that. They gotta take spells. Nowadays,
Yeah.
you boy a 7 over spell here, 10 over spell. They don't have the strength and the courage, the confidence to back that up like back in the day.
Yeah. I call these, I call most of those fast bowlers superhuman. You know, because when you look at it and you think of it, I'm saying to myself, nowadays you have energy drink, you have nutrition, you have all this kind of stuff, dietary, right? Back in
Physiotherapy.
those
Yeah,
days, men just running hard and just bowl hard. You know, so a bowler bowling fast, another guy in the team want to bowl faster than him, right?
yeah.
You know, so that's how I look at it. But I've been
And
always
the
a student of
competition back then was tough too.
yeah, yes. But I've been always a student of the game. You know, I never be disrespectful or anything like that. You never see me get in problems with players or anything like that. I respect players for who they are, what they do. Even the opposition, you'd hardly hear me swear somebody or sled somebody. You know, I'm more like if I see you batting and you play a good shot and I'm feeling close by, I say good shot. Or if I see you play, sometimes I see some guys batting and just throwing the wicket away. I say, man, just take your time and bat. You know, I encourage you. Even on the opposition, sometimes the captain,
Oh wow.
I
So
would
you don't
encourage
you
guys
don't do
to
friendly banter?
not really, to be honest with you. I
Oh
prefer to
wow.
be,
Okay, okay.
yeah, I
Dune is
prefer to
known
be,
for that.
yeah, I prefer to
I'm
be,
known for the friendly banter, Mark. I'm sorry. I if I see you play a shot that don't make no sense, I'm gonna let you know.
yeah. I always believe in letting the batsman or bowler do his thing. You know, my son was
Got
more
you.
aggressive like that. My son would sledge
Oh
you
yeah,
and go.
Dominique. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dominique don't play. Dominique was different.
yeah,
Dominique was going out there to kill you.
yes, yeah. So nothing wrong with banter and sledging, but I think there's a time for it, right?
Got you.
Yeah, definitely. So throughout all your cricketing experience, did you? I know I'm not referring to like performance wise, because you know cricket is a sport. You're gonna fail and you're gonna be successful. But outside of the cricket, did you have any like challenges that hinder you from like playing cricket as you'd want to, and like how did you get over those challenges, if any?
I, I wouldn't really say that because most of the people I associate myself with, my family, my wife, my friends, whatever, everybody know I'm a cricket freak, right? I
Mm.
was just in England playing for 3 weeks there, and I want to go and play somewhere in Atlanta next week. And my wife told me, say, you say you just played cricket 3 weeks in England. What are you trying to achieve? But what happened? Most of the females went into the competitive spirit, right? Like like I tell some of my friends, I say, okay, if you're in good form, you want your form to continue, right? You
Yes.
want to play when you're doing well, you want to play more, right? So you
Yes,
could
Yes.
play
achieve more,
more.
right? When you stop, you and just start cold again. Sometimes you can't really recover, right? But different than that, I really, I try to be flexible. I do what's best I could do. Like I try to do the best I could do. Like Friday, Thursday, I make sure if my wife wants something to be done, try to do it. I try to be on the good side. You
I
know,
know the routine, man.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. When weekend come, I try to be nice. I try to be on good side because I don't want when Saturday or Sunday comes, to
No
hamper me.
cricket.
And the off season, I try to do things. I'm not really. The honest truth is, I'm not really outgoing, exciting person. I could sit the whole day and watch cricket all week, all night. Like people tell me, my kids say something's wrong with you. You. How could you sit down and just watch this and over and over?
Because
But
you
that's
love
how
it.
I am.
You love
It's
it.
just in your blood,
Yeah,
built in you.
and to me, it keeps me out of trouble. I've been living in America since 1991.
Hmm.
I haven't got any problems with the law, people, or anything like that. I say cricket keeps me away from all these things.
Keep you
So that's why I
occupied.
tell people, when you see I'm doing my cricket, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone because it protects me, it keeps me disciplined. as I say, without cricket, I might have been in jail or dead already. I know that for a fact. So that's the beauty about cricket for me. You know, it's a part of my life. You know, if you cut me, blood wouldn't come out. You see cricket come out.
Nice,
That's it.
nice. A real cricket fanatic.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I have a question. So, you've been playing cricket here in the USA since 1991. Have you ever had the opportunity to play for the USA national team?
Yes. 1999, they selected me to go to Canada to play the Anti Cup.
Oh, yeah, the Audi Cup. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yes, yes. And they was taking 14 players, and I was one of the 14. And I don't know what happened, but they said at the time I wasn't a citizen. They said some rule that has to be 5 citizen or 9
Oh,
citizen and 4 green card holder, something like that. That's what Zamin and the others came up and said. And they eliminated me. And they took a guy from Barbados, Thomas.
uh-huh.
Um, Thomas, he used to play in Brooklyn. Nice guy, you know, no fault of him. Good
Mhm.
batsman, good cricketer. He used to play in American League. I forget his first name, but Thomas is his name. So they took him in the squad. And they never gave me a chance from that. But just to look back at the years, in every form of cricket in USA,
Uh-huh.
I scored a century. I took a 5 or
Wow.
6, right? You know,
Uh-huh.
I could bring up all the articles. Sometimes I just let me just show you. I had this I had this frame from a long time ago. This
Wow.
just some performances. You understand? Because what
Uh-huh.
happened? You know, anybody could come and say, "Oh, they did this and they did that," whatever, right? But different than
Have it
cricket,
in
I'm
the
always a
archive.
statistician. Yeah, I'm always a statistician. I always keep the stats for the league, the clubs, everything. I still have tons of scorebook. I could bring them up from upstairs and have them put away. Could show you. So
Wow.
just the truth,
Mhm.
because I don't want to tell somebody, "Oh, I did this," and then it's not true, right? I have to be
True.
legit. I have to be truthful. You know, that's why when you see if I fail, I'm one person. You can always see I post something when I fail or something. I never hide away from that because it's just a game.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of it.
yeah. But I score back in those days. We used to have interleague century. Interleague, I scored 2 centuries interleague, like Metropolitan, and I scored against the New York League. That's the best team. And in the 90s, 2000 up to 2005, the cricket was still competitive and good, right? And most teams had national players. You know that's why I rated myself internally. I would tell myself, you know, I always brainwash myself. You know, I wouldn't tell you that I'm a good cricketer or I'm better than this. I never tell people I'm better than them. I always go to myself and I say, you know something, I'm the greatest. I always tell myself I'm the greatest.
I
Give it
like
to
that.
myself, right? Not
Hmm.
to everybody, but I always tell myself I'm the greatest and I'm the best. You know, so I scored a couple interleague centuries. I scored centuries in Canada against West Indies players in the lineup. You know, so I had a lot of good achievement. Um, I'm always up for fight, to be honest with you. If I'm playing a weak team, you will never get nothing from me. The minute you bring good
The
cricketers,
better players.
yes,
It
you
brings out
always
the
see,
best in
Contribution.
you.
yeah, you always
Yes.
get production from me. You know, and I was lucky to captain the Brooklyn League um, back in those days, up to I think it's 2010. They had the Mayor Cup. That was the most prestigious cricket cup back in those days, the Mayor Cup. I was a captain
Hmm.
of the Brooklyn team, and we won that competition. You know, your good friend Angie Curtin
Hmm.
was the
Rusty.
MVP. Yes, Rusty
Yeah.
was an instrumental part of that. Big up to Rusty. You know, good
Mhm.
cricketer. Dean, Romero Dean, your teammate.
Romero Dean,
Yes,
another
he was.
teammate of
Yeah,
mine on the
yes, he
19
was.
World Cup.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I lead, and most of these guys perform. You know, so that was one of
Awesome.
my greatest achievement. When they used to play Red Stripe, I think they probably played in Florida still, like Caribbean team. And he was
Yeah,
from
they used to do it for back in the day where the national Antigua versus India versus Pakistan versus
yeah,
Barbados like that. Hmm.
exactly. When they had it in New York, Windward Islands also have a good team because Windward's Junior Morris used to come up and play Royal Lewis. A lot of the guys who play Shell Shield or Red Stripe cricket, first class cricket used to play. So I always used to be on the back burner. And when you look at the stats, sometimes score the most runs. You have 4 or 5 test players playing and first class, 20 first class, and I still score the most runs for the league.
Yeah.
Right? So that just tell you, right? It just you know, I always motivated anytime I'm playing with good cricketers, like I don't compete with them. I just want to do my best, right? So
Yep.
Show what you can
and
do.
yes, and I made a lot of good friends from that. Majority of really good cricketers, they could call me, I could call them, hang out. People respect me from that. And that's one thing I really pride myself on. But I always know hard work brings success, right? And when I fail, I'm pissed all week. Excuse my expression. I'm mad all week. I can't wait until the next weekend to come.
Yeah.
Sometimes people might see my wife, they maybe not come home, say, oh, you make dog today. Oh, you didn't make a lunch today. Right? She just see that she already know.
The
Right?
expression, the body language.
Yes, exactly. When I walk in, she say, oh, you make some runs today. You make some
Coming
throws.
happy and
Yes, yes.
cheery.
Smiling.
Yeah. So that's one thing about it. So I always look forward to the next time because the game been a long one since 1890 or 1880 something.
Yeah, centuries,
And
yeah.
yes, and failing is part of cricket, right? It's just how you bounce back and how you cope from
Definitely.
it. And like I always tell, I have some friends that when they fail, they get upset. They don't talk to nobody. I say, listen, me, it's a game. Ray Richards used to fail, Larry used to fail,
Yeah, the greatest fail.
Gavaskar used to fail, Tendulkar, and they're great players. So what
That is
happened
how
to
you get back.
you, right? So you just got to keep motivating yourself to do well.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Awesome.
When you look on the failure rate, most of the better batters, their averages right around 50. So if you bat 10 times, that means 5 times they fail.
Yes,
So
yes,
you have to look at it like that.
yeah.
So
Definitely.
you've been playing cricket in a lot of different regions. Out of the bigger cricketing nations, where haven't you played as yet? Did you play in like Australia or experience cricket in any of those bigger cricketing nations?
No, I haven't really journeyed to Australia. I got a chance last year, but a lot of times why I really can't take up the opportunity is because I'm a job and I have two young teenagers. Now they're 19 and 20.
More
So at least a little
responsibility.
bit freer for me, right?
Mhm.
I can't leave everything on my wife. My wife is a nurse, work 12-hour shift a lot of times. So I got to contribute and do my part too. But I have played in South Africa in 90, just before COVID. I played in England.
Hmm.
I had a chance to go to New Zealand, but because of work, I couldn't get the 3 weeks off, which was required. So I
Okay.
did have a lot of opportunities to go, but I never really took it up. But now, since that I'm doing my own brand, and for promotional purposes and experience, you know, I see myself playing in India and Australia in the near future.
Nice.
Right? It all depends on how my brand do, because if my brand do good enough that I don't have to work, because time is really the problem. Cricket in tours, it takes you a couple, 3, 4 days to get to Australia, India. You got to recoup, right? Your body got to recoup because of the traveling and all, acclimatizing,
Time
all that
zone
good stuff.
difference and everything.
Yeah. But I've been going to England and playing cricket since 2014. And England is just 6 hours away, right? And like I always tell people, um, if you want to experience cricket, you have to go to England, all right? Soccer,
Yeah.
the same thing. So 6 hours is to me is not too bad. So that's why I always go to England and play. And just for like when I go to England, it's not really cricket alone. It's a learning process for me. You know
Got you.
about the cricket, outside of cricket, the gears, the sports equipment, all these other things I do. So anytime I go to England, it's a cricketing trip, but not just to play cricket. It's just to learn, because I learned so much of things from England that I'm ready to share a lot with a lot of cricketers and the cricket community. But what happens to sometimes when you're Caribbean man, some people not receptive to you, right?
Definitely. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you mean.
right. So most of my friends, sorry to say that, they're Jamaicans, right? You know, I'm from St. Vincent. I don't have too much of friends from St. Vincent or from the islands. I get along with the Lucians and the Dominicans pretty good, right? But I'm just telling you, majority of my supporters and friends are from Jamaica, and I always get along with them. I go to Jamaica and play a lot of times. They treat me good. Respectful. Friendly. So it's just something that you know And as I say, I hope nobody don't take it offensively. You know, I have a lot of good friends from Ghana as well, but there's something about the Vinci and the Jamaican. I don't know if it is the culture as well. My wife is Jamaican. I don't know if it's the culture because Jamaica and St. Vincent is the two Caribbean islands and Antigua almost similar in everything. If you
Wow.
ask any Jamaican or Antiguan or Vinci, they're going to tell you those three islands are almost very similar, you know. And how I got into doing my own cricket brand, it was a Jamaican, you know, a guy from um, he live in Atlanta now, Georgia, queuing live.
Mm.
Chris Gale, best friend. We used to play cricket together in Connecticut, and he just keep telling me, he said, "Mark, you know, you could do this thing here. Why don't you do your own gas?" He said, "You have a good following. I know you like quality stuff. You're an honest guy. Why don't you pursue it?" And that's basically, he was the one to push me, you know, and I get started doing this MSDA gas. Like most people know me as Market, right? The MSDA, you know, is more like a catchy, a catchy. I use a full initial, more like a catchy thing, like USDA, right?
Yep.
So it's MSDA, you know, something because what happened, I look at it like a rapper. I like rap music, right?
I realized that I
Yeah,
be following your videos and see you got the little dance and the
yeah,
rap
yeah.
music going on. I said, look
For,
at Mark.
yeah, for many years, since 1990, since I came here, if you open this closet, that's full of pure rap music.
Nice.
About 400 or 500 CDs, right? All here, right? So music, Eminem, all these guys, music and cricket, right? Mark Dean. Music and cricket, that's two things I really love to do, right?
Mhm.
Music and cricket. So I married those two together. So you all see when I'm doing my little videos, I have a little music, you know, you know, so I could refer to. But the main thing why I really wanted to do the gears because as a club cricketer, right? I go around and I play cricket. I could say I almost play cricket in almost every region in America at a good level, whether friendly or competitive. And what you notice, and I don't know if it's people just being neglectful. Sometimes the quality of the balls is just garbage, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right? As a good bowler, if you have a good ball, right? I just bring this from England, right? This is a Duke
Uh-huh.
ball. Right? So a lot of times what I do, I look at the best and then I try to emulate it or try to make mine as good as it, right? So this is a Duke ball, right? Seam, everything like that. So sometimes, as an example, with the red ball, when you're playing the red ball and you're playing club cricket, right? Sometimes you get these three balls. After 4 or 5 overs, it
They
twists. You
messed
can't do
up.
nothing. But if you
Yeah.
get a good ball and you could shine one side, right? And you could reverse it and you could use the seam, right, with your skills. You know how joyful that is?
Yeah, oh
So
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's the best part.
yes, yeah. I always say to something, I want to produce something just as good as them or close to it, right? So I
Quality.
get manufacturers which I tell, okay, I need my boss to be the best, whatever. Sometimes you don't get the best. You try to get the best, but it's no fault of you. All I could do is try, right?
Yep.
You might get defective. Sometimes you might get a batch of bad balls or something. It happens in Test cricket, county, first class. It happens, right? Um, so what I do as the owner or brand ambassador, if I give you something defective, I give you for free. I replace it for free. I'm not going to hassle with you because I know sometimes
Yes.
anything is made by man, right? It's subject to failure, right? So that's how I look at things. So if you get something from me and it's not up to par, I gladly replace it. I don't without hassle, right? So that's how I get customers, and that's why people deal with me, right? Anybody could call me anytime and say, Mark, blah blah blah. You know, I don't nick on dime people when it comes to that. But come back to the club cricket. I think the standards of the ball in America is not up to par, and people put money in front of quality, and a lot of clubs and a lot of club presidents look the other way, right? So what I did, I'm trying to change that, right? Anyway, anyone get balls from me, I always get compliments on the ball, right?
Mhm.
Only bad experience I had is like I did for League last year in New York, and they sent a batch that was bad, and because of that, I got some negative reviews, but it didn't bother me because For those balls, I gave them 50 balls, brand new. And they never tell nobody that, oh, Mark, give you 50 balls. But they only tell you that, Mark, some of the balls was good, right? But they never tell you, Mark, give you 50 balls. Who does that, right? So that's my thing. And when it comes to gears, the bat, we play in America where some of these outfield are just ridiculous.
Definitely.
Right? It's like playing on a cow pasture. The grass is up to your ankle.
High grass.
Right? The reason why I love playing in Florida, because the grass is always tend to be low in Florida. You could stroke the ball nicely and you get value for your shots in Florida. You don't have to worry. Right? I have about
I
3
think
or
some
4
of the
centers in
fields.
Florida. Huh?
Some,
But
some of them.
yeah.
But compared to New York and his area, it's majority down here.
Yes. So what happened? After a while, I've been thinking and saying, wow, how could we do this? So I just come up with a way of saying something. For New York cricket or for USA cricket, let me produce some bats, some real thick bats. So even if you miss time, it still go for 6, it still go for 4. It doesn't matter how high the grass is, right? So that's if you notice, most of my bats you see them with high profile, thick profile. But the bats are sent to the Caribbean and much thinner, come from England, right? For first class or cricket in the Caribbean, because we have good grounds in the Caribbean.
Definitely, yeah. Top grounds, fast outfield, low grass, grass cut, well taken care of, maintained.
Yeah. So that was my main goal really behind it. And one time I was playing in Brooklyn League, 2010, playing against Princeton Carmichael. I think you know who named Princeton Carmichael.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
youngster, right? And I batted for an hour and I scored 5 runs. And there is nothing I do. I hit the ball so hard, it just stops, it rolls. I get so frustrated and just give my wicket away. And from that, I say, something? I got to evaluate, I got to do something. I'm going to try one of these days, have a bat for every different kind of outfield condition. Right? So if you look at my bag, you all see I have like 3 different bats all the time.
Just in case.
Anytime I show up to a ground to play and the grass is thick, you all see the thick bat comes out. I show up to the ground and the grass is cut nice. I use a light and medium bat. But when I'm playing with the grass is high, I use a heavy bat, but well balanced, right? So a lot of times, sometimes I could show videos. You might see me just hit the ball. I just stand.
And it's gone. Yeah.
I don't have to go anything, So I tell all my manufacturers who I get the bats from, I say, listen to me, I want you to give me an edge, right? I know you have all these top name brands, SS, GM, FS, whatever. They're good. I love them too because I use them too in the past. But I want you, when you make my bats, it must hit like a test cricketer bat or first class cricketer bat. So local cricketer will experience how it is, because a lot of times you might buy a Chris Gale bat or a bat to Tendulkar, but it doesn't hit like that, right? It just have the name of the
name on the sticker. Sticker
right?
back to call them.
Yes, right? It has a name on the sticker, but it doesn't hit the same. You have to knock it in, you have to do one of these, you could just take it right out the plastic. I usually do. Go in the nets without doing anything and bat with it, because that's how I test my stuff, right? So that's the main thing. But I want to keep inspiring young cricketers. Any cricketer from the Caribbean that does good, once you have good respect and I like to know your family background, I like to know your situation as well, right? And then I would go through. Not because somebody says sponsor somebody, I would sponsor them. I investigate myself. Okay, this guy, is his parents alive? Like I sponsor a guy from Jamaica. His father died. He was living with his mom. Right? They're poor. So I say, something, I will back you. Guy named Michael Clark. Kirk McKenzie, the dad for the lefty batsman from Jamaica who played for West Indies, introduced me to him. So I say, listen to me. All you just do, you just show up and you play. I'll provide you the tools. Right? But just be disciplined. Don't get into trouble. Just play cricket and I will back you. So that's really what I do. And that's my mission really behind MSDA cricket. Any little money I make, I put it back into cricket, right? Because I just feel, and I know it's just a matter of time before I myself produce a couple of West Indies cricketers. Right? And that's my goal really. But the most important thing, you must have discipline, right? And you must do your schoolwork. Put your education first and have your discipline, and I have.
Yes, I mean, the MSDA gears, I mean, I've been following your gears for over the years. I know for a fact the bats hits very, very well. I got two, I think, off of you already, and we use them here locally in Florida. So I'm happy that you have the gears going. I love the colors. I just love how you promote your gears and how you promote MSDA. So congrats on that. I'm looking forward to see what else you have in store.
You know, the way I look at it, right? Like I always tell people, I think as a rapper, I can't do the same thing like everybody else. I have to give it, I have to do an edge. I have to do something ridiculous. He said, did you really do that? And then, you understand? Something that, like I tell people sometimes, post a lot of stuff on Facebook or comments and stuff. I always tell people, don't take me too serious. Sometimes it's just I. I might say
Yeah.
something, but it's not to be disrespectful. It's just you say, oh, really? Did you say that? And then you say, oh, yes, that makes sense. It's something to get you. Like when in school, I was very good at literature and arts, right? So I always do good. So everything, I go back to my schooling, right? I do a lot of colors that most people would be scared to do. Something, I like bright colors. That's why sometimes I call myself a funky ma, because I think sometimes dark colors, it's a bad aura. You see something bright, right away it might catch you, it might land
Catch
in
your eye.
yes, you might get
Flashy.
it. Yeah, right? So I always do something extraordinary, right? And I'm not afraid to try different things. That's one thing with me, right? I'm not afraid to try different things because I can't be the same like everybody. Because if you be the same like everybody, you're not creative, right? So if you look at anything I have, most of the time you see something different, right? And cricket is all about color, carnival. T20 cricket is more like a festive thing, right?
Festival,
So
excitement.
yeah, right. I don't want to be overboard or over the board, but just about the borderline, not like cutting on the edge, right?
Yeah.
That's how I try to do things.
Yeah, just a little bit of flamboyance in the
Yes,
gears.
yeah. Back in the day, the Pakistanis in Brooklyn used to call me flamboyant all-rounder, right? They always say, you come out, you're in some pretty color shoe, something different, some weird looking helmet or something. I say, yeah, because that separates me from different people.
And they
Right?
always remember you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have been in the States for a while now, so you know how the cricket is run. Do you think that USA cricket should have been further than where it's at right now?
Yes. And one of the reasons why US cricket is not further, you need good infrastructure, right? You
Correct.
can't you have to invest in the natural turf pitches, right? Good cricket facilities. We can't keep making excuses that it's summer, it's winter, who's gonna take care of it? Look, in England, we almost like England. Most of the clubs in England is volunteer. Somebody from the club who volunteers and takes care of the pitches, cut the grass, maybe the club captain, right? Or something like that. We make too much excuses in America, right? So if we have to elevate our cricket, we have to start, as you know, in Broad County, you have the turf pitch, right? We have to go away from the artificial as well, because what happened when we are playing cricket to play international cricket, right? So you have to play cricket on the surface that is played internationally, right? So playing cricket on matting is one thing, yes, because we can't do better. Most of the fields are government owned or city owned, and we share the fields, so we can't do better. But you just have to identify areas and put down natural turf pitches. You could only improve with natural turf pitches, right? The players would improve, the skills would improve, the batting, the bowling, everything would improve. Matting and artificial, it's not played at the international level anymore. Back in the 50s, 60s, early 60s in Trinidad, Test cricket was played on matting pitches. I don't know if you guys know that, but Test cricket was played on matting pitches in
News to
Trinidad
me.
in the 1950s. Yes, you could look it up, right? So, in order for us to move on and for us to develop too, you have to involve local cricketers. You just can't bring in guys who qualify from overseas.
Say that again for the people in the back. Say that again. You have to involve who?
Yeah, you just can't bring guys who qualify who couldn't make it in India, Sri Lanka, Australia. Or
Now we talking.
Yeah, who are basically mediocre. Let's say that. Because I look at the stats. A lot of these guys' stats. It's one thing about me. Before I mention something, and I don't want to go hard on nobody, right? I
Mhm.
look at this. I look at his stats. Smith Patel, he's a very good player. Yes, I like Smith Patel, right? Fine, but you have to include the guys who play cricket here, the guys who play in Washington League, who play in Florida, right? Who come and play in New York, who gets on the Greyhound bus in the night and go to Washington and play the next morning, gets back and go to Virginia and play Sunday morning, right? Half of these players never went to a club cricket ground, right? Half of them never went to a club cricket ground. So what happened when they play on a pitch like the pitch in Long Island at the stadium and they were struggling, right? To me, that's a great pitch. I play on a pitch like that. I know I'm gonna make runs, right? When you play on club, when you play on club cricket grounds, most of these matting pitches, they're deployable. They're not prepared. So if you perform on those, when you need pristine pitches, it's easy. Look,
Easy.
when I go to England and play, I'm not bragging a boast, but when I go to England and play, them guys will say, "Man, how are you smiling so? How you always happy and everything like that?" And I'm saying to myself, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Look at this
Ju-
pitch. Look at
Just
this
looking at the
outfield.
grass and the
Right? Look at this
outfield.
grass. I know I'm going to perform, right? So these are the things. If US cricket have to develop, you have to play the guys who play in the local club cricket. Nothing wrong with playing a
Local.
couple guys who qualify, but don't have 7 guys from overseas who come and qualify and 2 guys from US and put them on the bench. And right? You will never improve like that. You have to play the
Speaking
youngsters
my
here,
language.
put them in the mix, give them opportunities. You could only improve from failing, right? In America, we play some people, they fail 2 matches, you never hear from them again. They just discard them, right? You could never, listen to me, a part of being a good cricketer is failure. After you
Yes.
fail, you go back to the nets, you go back to the drawing board, you look at where you want to improve and how you could improve, and you come back stronger. Majority of the good cricketers in the world, if you look at them, they got dropped 2 or 3 times, right?
Yes.
Right. So we have to do that, but we have to just cut this out, and we have to be fair too, right? We just can't bring one set of people from one country, B team, and play them, right? I have nothing against Indian because my background is Indian too. People don't know my great grandmothers are Indian, right? So it has nothing to do with being, looking at the ethnic thing, but it is what it is, right? It's unfair. We have Caribbean players just as good, right? Just as good
Get
as
to the
Steven
truth here.
Taylor and Aaron Jones, not getting any look in. I see they just
Don't
winning
get a
trophies.
chance to look in.
Yes, yeah. So in order,
And
you have to give people chances, right? But you have to identify the players who you think have it, right? Who are good enough, who could live up to the expectation, who could deal with the pressure. You understand? Who has character? You fail, you make 2 ducks. It doesn't mean because you make 2 ducks, you have your head down and you finish, right? Let me tell you what. I made 2 ducks in youth cricket against Grenada in 1987. I felt shame, but guess what happened? I couldn't sleep for days. The next match, I made 62 against Dominica, right? So that just a little background. I always refer to real life experience, right? So we
yeah,
have to do in America, improve the facilities, give local players,
local
homegrown players,
players.
people who are
Hmm.
born in America who play cricket. We have a lot of academies in Washington, New Jersey, California. Give them the chance. Bring in a few overseas in the mix, but not majority, right? And I think we do good.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought up local because that's a topic that me and CG has been touching on these past couple episodes. Because I do believe in the local cricketers that have been playing here and toiling here from day one. Like I've been playing cricket in the United States since 2003, so it's tough for me because I've seen a lot of cricketers come and go, and I know a lot of cricketers who, as you say, who play week in and week out, Saturday, Sunday, travel state to state. The cricket leagues in New York, Washington Cricket League, Houston Cricket League. It just sucks that they don't get the opportunity to show that they have the talent to play for USA or get selected in a practice squad when they've been doing this for years over and over again. Then you have to sit back and watch these cricketers come in and take that position. So it's tough. And until they get that part fixed, it's going to be a long road for the USA national team. I do
Dune,
agree with that part.
Dune, I look at cricket in a different angle, right? Every time I look at cricket, it's always something I'm looking for. Yeah, stats is good, but sometimes stats lie, right? But if you're short, like I could identify a good cricketer when I see a good bowler, a good batsman. I just want to see a couple balls, I see him bat, right?
Couple
And
balls, couple shots.
I play against a lot of good cricketers, and sometimes it's just amazing and say, how this guy never really got selected for the USA team, trials or anything like that. You just see the bats and you know, right? And you watch them bat and you look at their stats. And that's one trick with me. A lot of people before, they might just think, oh, this guy is only into himself. You know, he always with his camera, he's all showing off, he's all this. You know, West Indies people think of West Indian.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's flashy. He think
Yeah,
he's too
yeah,
good. He's mighty,
yeah.
not
But
knowing you're doing it to help.
yes, not himself that, but I never look at it that way, right? I use the camera to identify players and talent. Majority of the people I highlight through my camera made it some way, right? And a lot of them
Right.
would tell you that. A lot of them would call and say, like one guy tell me, he get me tickets in England, do me all kind of stuff. I said, you don't have to do all kind of stuff for me. He said, man, if it wasn't you, my career I would have never reached here. Because when all of them shunned me, you was the only person who was promoting my videos, sharing and talking about me and posting my scores. And it's from that I get selected to go many different places all over the world, right? I remember I posted a video of a kid up in Connecticut playing, and the parents called me from India. I didn't know how to get my number. Call me and was thanking me because they never saw their son in like 6 or 7 years. He was at university and they saw him playing cricket, and that was their first love. And called me, and it was amazing a while back, right? So when I use the video, it's to highlight a lot of times. I like to call myself an underdog, right?
The
And
underdog.
I like to highlight underdog players. Anybody who have a rough deal, a rotten deal that I thought could have really make it, I like to highlight them, right? Because once the character is good and you have good respect, and I know that, I know the other, it's just other reasons, right? Why they're not on cricket teams and that kind of stuff, you know? So I would highlight them. And majority of these guys are doing well, and I feel good, right? Look, when I highlight somebody, and 2-4 days later somebody might send me a video. A lot of time people send me video of stuff I did, and I don't say no because I don't go out looking for stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And when I see it, it just brings me that inner peace and joy. I feel good, you know. I invest in my own stuff for myself. Look, I have like 3 or 4 cameras, $3,000-$4,000 each. Let me just show you, right? 12,000,
CG.
right? So guess what happened? I always have to have the action. If this break, then I bring this one out. If this one break, I have a backup. So, you know, all these things I do over the years, like I say, I'm a cricket freak fanatic. I'm just happy to help people. And a lot of cricketers over the years who came in from the Caribbean and play, I try and help them. Whether to get a cricket club, you understand something. And I'm not looking for self-praise. I just think it's the right thing to do. If you're in a position to help, if you could put somebody on, point them in the right direction, do that. It doesn't take a lot from you, right? So that's my thing, you know. But I just want to make a difference, and I don't want to be like other people, right? Say what you want. I just want to be different. You know, they call me at home. My sons always tell me I'm weird, and I like it. I like it. You're just different. How could you listen to the same music and watch the same video 10, 15 times? You have to be sick. I said, yes, that's my thing, you know.
But you know what? CG, I remember. I don't know if Mark remember, but when I was in the military, you know, I served for 10 years in the U.S. Air Force. I don't know if Mark remember, but in 2014, I was in Qatar, and Mark sent me a little care package of some club cricket videos all the way to Qatar.
Yes.
And while I was deployed for 6 months, I
Yes,
was watching cricket videos. Remember that?
yes, yeah, I
So he's
remember.
always been that kind of person.
Yeah, because I was saying, I don't want the cricket lose you because you're the army, right?
Mhm.
That was one of the main reasons. So I say if you watch it, when you come back, you get right back into it.
Yes, that was
See?
a good time. That was a good time.
Sometimes you have that hunger, right? You have that hunger. Um, you have that hunger for the cricket, and if it's within you, you know, you just got to do something that makes you feel happy. That's the most important thing.
Got you. The legend.
Yeah,
I,
definitely
I
that
wouldn't really
that
call myself a legend, but and to be honest with you, I never I never realized, and I didn't even know I would last that long in cricket, right? Because in America, it's a challenge, right?
Yes.
Playing cricket, have a family, working,
Family, work.
working, and when I look back at it, it's crazy. It's all close to 34 years of just every weekend, just doing the same thing. Sometimes my wife gets on my case, but I always say at least when I'm playing cricket, you know where I'm at, right? I'm not, I'm not somewhere where I'm not supposed to be. You
Yep,
know where
you
I'm
know
at,
exactly.
right? And she always say, when cricket finish, you never come home. You sit at the park. Guess what happened? Back in the day, that's how you learn. You talk to other cricketers. You talk to the opposition. Not because I'm playing against you, mean I must be hostile against you all the time, right? You could
Yes.
share things, right, that I could pick up and learn. So a lot of times, all the cricketers would sit in the park until 11, 12 o'clock before they leave, just talking cricket and experience. So that's one of the things with cricket. And as I say, I love it. I love it. I dream it. I eat it. I sleep it. And once I have health and strength, I continue to play. Like
Keep going.
I tell somebody last week, I say when I talk, I might be frustrated sometimes. I'm retired, but guess what? You gotta take me off the field in a coffee. Yeah, yeah.
so Mark, I know we were touching on they're bringing in all those other players from other nations. So what would you tell to like young cricketers who are coming up? Do you think it's all based on luck? Cause it's not all about the talent. Like if they really want to make it into the cricket, like do they just have to depend on luck? Where should they try to go to like get the opportunities based on your experience? Where can they be seen?
Once they have the ability, right? Once they have the ability and they produce, because producing is very important. You could have a lot of talent, but you're not productive. You're not going to get anywhere. My suggestion to them: everywhere you get an opportunity, go and play and perform. Because if they keep seeing the name popping up, that means that person is a good cricketer, right? You,
So
you
do
you
they
look at
need
it. You look at it. You Google Nathaniel name or somebody name. You see so much articles or so much of things. That means they're good. Consistency is the key to success. If you're not consistent, you're not going to perform and you're not going to be always in the mix. But I would tell them not to give up. In cricket, like I always say, a lot of times cricketers are the chosen one. They choose you. It has nothing to do with the ability or talent at times, right? It's the administrators or selectors. They choose you. They see something that they like in you.
Mhm.
You might be as good as the other guy, but they see something in you. You might be more disciplined than the guy with all the talent, and they like that, and they choose you. And you work hard at your game, then you elevate. Sometimes I always say, all you need is an opportunity, a platform. Like, for example, Nathaniel Brother is a good cricketer. I know that for many years, right? He might struggle to make Antigua Leeward Islands team, but guess what happened? If you gave him a chance on Leeward Islands team, he might not look back. He might just need that platform, right?
One shot. Hmm.
Right? A lot of times players don't get that shot. And a lot of times players without the ability get so many chances and they fail and fail.
Over and over
Like
again.
I always say, the cricketers who get curry favor, right, or pushed who are not good, they'll always fail. Right? The cricketer who is good, who have the talent ability and could produce, who always trying, once they get that platform, they would excel. And a lot of times some people afraid to give that player the chance because they don't want them to excel.
Yep.
Right?
And they know once they get that chance, they won't look back.
Yes, exactly. Because what happened, I don't know if we're describing a viral syndrome form. Some of us don't like to see people prosper. Listen to me, I'm happy. I see guys I used to play cricket with, when my friend Ian Allen made West Indies team. I didn't say I'm going to work that day in 1991. I took off and watched cricket all day. I was so happy for him. My friend Coffee, who made West Indies team again from St. Vincent. And we played together back in St. Vincent. When I saw these guys playing for West Indies, I felt so happy for them. You understand? But we just have this way about us that we just can't be honest with ourselves and say, "Hey, well done, man. I'm happy for you. Keep going." You understand? Some people would. but some people don't. That's a bad thing about it.
Mm.
But my advice to youngsters: never give up. Keep practicing. Keep producing runs. Right? Keep training to improve your ability and skills. Try and improve. And the most important thing, you have manners and respect. It goes a long way, because a lot of times it's the attitude of the player that gets them nowhere.
Nice. Well said. Mhm.
Yeah, so do you think that sometimes they might have to move from out of their region to perform so maybe they can see them then? Because maybe in their region they might be performing and they're not seeing them still.
Yes, yes. Like I always say, you have to take the opportunity where it is. A guy called me now, man, I have a match in Los Angeles next 2 weeks. Could you show up? Could you come and play? The minute he said that, I say yes. Right? Sometimes you ask a guy, some of these younger players, you give them an opportunity. The first thing they want to say, how much I'm getting paid.
How much? Oh boy, that's a
Right?
big one,
So, so,
boy.
so, so guess what happened? The minute you say that, it's a turn off.
Yeah.
Right? Right away, you just throw your opportunity away. Right? In England, many different clubs ask me, Mark, could you come and play? And I would say, okay, if I'm not playing for my main club I'm here for, I'm not doing anything, I gladly turn up. Right? Ask a guy, you want to go up and play with me up in Leicestershire? How much you going to pay me? Right? Listen to me, I turn up, get the opportunity, make friends, right? And from that friendship, get some opportunity with something else. Right? So sometimes we have to change our mindset. I know finance is important in cricket, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
the younger generation is too focused on that. Right? As I say, I own teams, right? For many years. And I'm not going to exploit anybody. That's one you anybody play for me will tell you. I would never exploit people. Right? I know you have the family, some guys, some people have their families to feed, whatever good
Mhm.
whatever they could get is help. But you have to change the attitude and mindset. You have to know how to do things and how to go about things. Right?
Yeah.
That's one of the main things that's killing the cricket in America as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good oversight there. Most of the young cricketers they need to not focus too much on the finances, even though I know it's an expensive sport
Yeah.
and they need to move around. But
But guess
sometimes you
guess
have to make sacrifices.
guess what happened? You love the sport, right? I love cricket. Every year I put away about $10,000 just for cricket, to do anything cricket, right? I mean, it might be a lot of money, but I'm to a different level, right? So guess what happened? I don't want to ask anybody for donate. Invite me to Florida to play cricket. I don't want to send from donate. I love the game. Once I could show up and get a game, to me that's very important. If I have to walk or drive 12 hours to get to Florida, I just want to show up and donate and do my best effort. Maybe I might show up and get one ball and score a duck. It's that's how the game is.
The
But
game,
at
yeah.
least I show up with a good attitude, right? I could have a drink later with the team and talk cricket, right? And I don't feel bad about that, because that's how it is.
Yeah, that's good to know. It seems as if you have a good mindset, and if some of the younger cricketers can get there in the mind, they'll be, I think, 75% of the journey already, right?
Mhm. Yep, they'll be successful if they had that same mentality.
You,
That was
you
a
know,
similar mentality that I had because when I first got here, I played locally in Florida, but after a while, we went to California and we made the All Star team and we got a look in. It's like every tournament that popped up, I would get an invite to go and play the tournament. I showed up. I got calls to go to Chicago, Texas. I mean, you name it, Michigan, you name it. I was gonna go and play because I loved the game. It wasn't even about the money and how much you're gonna give me and who getting paid per game. I just wanted to go and play cricket.
yeah,
So that whole mentality has changed
because
tremendously.
because I look at it as I'm not a professional cricketer. I'm a
Mm.
weekend warrior, right?
The weekend
Right.
warrior.
That's what I call myself, a weekend warrior.
Mhm.
I'm not a professional cricket, so I'm not looking to gain anything financially for playing for teams. I just want opportunity to go and play, to showcase my talent. Connecticut, Jersey, anywhere I get the opportunity to go. And I tell youngsters that just go and play. Put your best
Yeah.
foot forward with a good attitude, right? You never know where it might take you,
You
right?
just never know. That one time you
Yes,
sacrifice and go and play, you score 100, and somebody who is somebody say, "Wait, this guy looking good," and it just takes one call.
Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? So anytime you shop, look your best, do your best, right? You never know where it takes you.
Yeah, definitely. But we don't want to keep it too long, Mark. I know we have your, I think we have your website here. You can let us know where we can reach you, the socials if you want to give it out.
Yes,
Uh,
I'm going to launch the new website tomorrow. I'm working from home tomorrow, so I have to just look into the payment structure. But the new website is https://msdacricket.com, right? So this Cricket Corner store, it just was a showcase on Spotify, Shopify, just so at least people see the goods. But
Uh-huh.
I have a professional website this time, so I'm going to go hard and on the website and doing other stuff in the background. Now that because having a website is very important. It could be a game changer, right?
Yes, yes, it can.
So, and I have the merchandise, you know, like I was telling Dune when he came to New York, I try to do the cricket selling just like how they do in England. A lot of times in England, there's not a store like how they have cricket stores. It's everything is on a website and it's sold from somebody's basement. So
Yes.
you never really, it's just a uniform website and all the goods is in a little, because what happened, you have to remember there's overhead expenses if you have a shop. Rent, right? You can't get, if you're paying high rent, you can't give anybody deals, right?
Nope.
Because when you import your goods, you have to pay custom fees, you have to pay broker fees, right? Transportation is high right now.
Yep. Delivery fee, shipping fee,
Exactly. So,
all adds
so
up.
all that comes with the territory. So I base my model off England. Everything I do is based off England. That's why you
I
see I
like
love
it.
England so much, right? Anything
Mhm.
I do cricket is off England. The best practices. I go into the stores, I go into the factory. They know me. I could order something tonight and get it tomorrow because they know Mark. So that's the relationship I try to build. When I go away, when I'm not playing, I'm visiting. You know, just being respectful. You know, and try to meet people. And to be honest with you, when you meet people one on one, it's a different story than sending somebody an email or text. All right,
Mm.
yeah,
but you could get
definitely, definitely.
but you could get this stuff. I'm going to share later. I don't like to
Uh-huh.
talk to things. It's one thing about me. I don't like to talk about things unless it's done. You're right.
Got you.
Yeah,
Once it's
definitely.
done, then you might hear me come and say something. But I never talk about things unless it's not done. You know. But
Yeah.
guys, it was a pleasure, and it was very nice talking to you guys, cricket fanatics yourself. You
Yes,
know,
yes. We love
you
it.
know, it that brings out the best of me. Some joy, because to be honest with you, over the years, I interviewed so many cricketers, so many people, but not too many people interview me or give me a chance. Right?
Ah,
Right? So I really appreciate that.
Yes, yeah,
awesome.
we'll
And I,
definitely love to have you back on the
For
show
sure.
for many
yes,
more
so
episodes because we plan to do this for the long haul. And
Yes.
yes.
Dune is very
Um,
excited.
and just before I go, I just had like I call myself a dream. I always call myself all these crazy
The
things.
dream, yeah. You have a lot of names, Mark.
Yes, but there are reasons behind everything I do,
Hmm.
right? And I always think, positive thinking. If you always think positive, you will achieve positive things, right? So
Yes.
that's why I always call myself the dream, because sometimes I always say I'm too over ambitious. I have my wife to say, "Man, you have so much ambition. You should sell some," right? And the reason why I say the dream, one dream came true for me, right? I was supposed to go to England and play cricket in 1985.
Hmm.
I was living with my uncle and aunt. My dad lived in Canada and my mom lived in New York all those years, right? And I used to live with my uncle and auntie. And I get this contract to go play in Glenmorgan. as a young 16-year-old. And they didn't want me to go because they don't think I was mature enough or, you understand?
Yes.
And all those years, it just bothered me on my mind, you know. And I would get up and dream like I'm playing cricket in England, I score 100, right? From 1985, it's in the back of my head, you know. And as you know, Dune, a couple of weeks ago, I achieved that dream, right?
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, after it happened, it brought tears to my eye, you know. It's
I
not
can
money,
only imagine.
right? It's not $1 million. It's not, it's a little club match. I mean, it's a league match, but it's nothing big, right? But I'm just saying the meaning to that, you know, it just speaks volume because I say, my God, 39 years before something,
39 years.
right? It shows you that you can't give up and you should have faith. I mean, just a simple story, you know?
Yes.
Personal joy.
Yeah, you know, I'm saying, like, I met so many of my club mates who play cricket with me, who play cricket in England, and they always tell me, Mark, I just want to score 100 in England too. Like my friend Shallow from St. Vincent, scored many hundreds in England. But Shallow was a professional cricketer. He played cricket
Yeah.
in England for like 10 years. I
Yeah.
only go for a month and 3 weeks at a time, 7, 8, 9 matches, right? So
Mhm.
that's one of the happiest feeling I ever got. You know, and
Congrats, man. Congrats, man.
it's so funny. I batted 35 overs, right? And when the last over, I needed 1 run. And I made the ugliest run to get that century. Right?
That's how
So
it goes.
right? So it's just that thing, you know? And I was cramping up and stuff. So I hit a ball like down and just tick off, and you know, everybody was happy for me. And you know, it was speechless at the time. And
The
you know,
dream.
I just wanna again say thanks and praises to God and Mighty Allah, you know, for my dream come true. So now I can look forward to other things, but I have bigger dreams than that still. Right?
Awesome.
But hopefully, guys, we could work together. I could do something for one of the youngsters in Florida,
Mhm.
in a team, but they have to put in the work. I don't want to give somebody something and they don't put in the work. Perform
Definitely.
and do something and you get rewarded. Right? Thanks for having me.
Definitely.
All right?
Definitely. And before you go, just so the fans know, MSDA last episode 6, I was showing off the uniform that we had that was made by MSDA Mark as well. So not only does he have his own equipment and gears, but he also does uniforms as well. So definitely look out for that when he launches the website. Top
Yes.
uniform.
Yes. And I even went a step further to get even better quality than that because
Oh wow.
I think quality sells itself.
Mm.
So I just signed a deal with a company that does for Nike and Puma and Adidas.
Mhm.
Right? So if people want that quality, because I don't want to be too expensive and I don't want
Yes.
to put things in the reach of people, but if you want that quality, it's available for you, right? If you say, Mom,
Definitely.
I want to spend $60 on a set of uniform, I could get you Taika, I could get you that stuff. It's there. As I say, I have everything available for me. And all gears, all makes,
Can't
all
wait.
models. Trust me. But I only focus on promoting MSDA because most of my advisors tell me promote MSDA.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
definitely once you get that link on website, we'll put it out on all the videos. So it will always be there in the description. Easy,
Yes.
quick and accessible. Yeah, but it was definitely a good talk. Good history and where it started from, all the trials and tribulation. But the good thing is to have the love of the game, keep on pushing. As you said, be disciplined, respectful, attitude. Never get a second chance to make a first impression.
I love
Yes.
that
So,
one.
so those are just little things. The little things does matter.
Yes.
And don't be hard on yourself when you fail 1 or 2 times,
Exactly.
as
Exactly.
it's a part of the game.
And let me give you a joke before I go. And I'm going to say this to Dune because you know my son. Back in the day, 2014, my son, we used to play the same club, Middlesex, right? And I had scores of 0, 0, 1, 0. 1 run in 4 innings. And my son, everybody going on the team. And he started, look at him. Every day he practiced. Look at me. I don't practice. I make
That's
100,
a
I make
popular
50,
phrase.
right? That's my son, right? I made 100 the other day. I make 50. I don't practice. I get wickets and look at you. You're practicing every day and look at you. One run. And he told me that about for 2 weeks straight. And from that 2 weeks, the next 15 innings was 15 half centuries.
Woo!
Then he came to me. He came to me and he said, in his Vinci language, he said, boy, you good enough. You're really good. 15 half centuries non-stop. So that's what I tell you, I get all my inspiration from. You know,
Nice.
anytime I fail, the worst thing you could come and do and trade in my face. Right?
Because he coming
That,
back.
yeah. One good thing about me, good character and determination. You know.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much for your time.
Yes.
And as we said before, look out for those links. MSDA,
Yep,
quality
yep,
gears, as you can see. He's putting his word behind his products. So look
yep.
out for that. Remember BIGNATE Cricket channel, CG the
Yes.
Genius. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out all the links that will be in the description. And if you want to add anything to the program, you can leave it in the comments. We'll be sure to respond and continue the conversation there.
And
But until
before I go, sir, Nate,
Yes.
one of these programs, we gotta do a masterclass. I'm gonna give some kids, the younger kids, some tips, batting tips, bowling tips. Because a lot of these kids, I watch them bowl, I watch them bat, and they could still do better. All right?
Nice.
All right?
All
definitely,
right.
definitely. That's
Yeah.
that's that's a very good idea, and we'll
I like that.
so that's more incentive to even subscribe. Turn on that post notification because you have to learn from the who has done it before. You can never be too big to learn. You can
Exactly.
always learn something. So look out for that masterclass coming from MSDA. But until next time, it's US Cricket Talk, episode 7. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay safe, stay blessed.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Respect.